19th of July 2023. Welcome to Dalsan TV's Primetime News. I'm your presenter Abdurrahman Yusuf. Tonight we have a lot in store for you, but first let's take a look at the stories that are making our headlines. Danab and Gorgor commandos kill over 30 Al-Shabaab militants in Middle Shabelle. Somaliland leader meets with UN special representatives to discuss conflict resolution efforts. Somalia's Prime Minister conducts inspection of National Immigration Agency. Somali President meets with Hirshabelle regional leaders to address political crisis and Al-Shabaab threat. Glad to have you back. Now let's delve into a full bulletin. More than 30 Al-Shabaab militants have been killed during a fierce fighting between the militants and the Somalia National Army, Danab, Gorgor commandos at the border areas of Galgudud and Middle Shabelle regions. Here's a full story.
More than 30 Al-Shabaab militants have been killed during fierce fighting between the militant and the Somali National Army's Danab and Gorgor commandos at the border areas of Galgaduud and Middle Shabelle regions. The operation was a significant success for the government's ongoing efforts to combat terrorism in the country. According to the Deputy Minister for Information, Abdurrahman Yusuf Al-Adala, the forces recovered several weapons and other military equipment during the operation. The swift action taken by Somalia's National Army's Danab and Gorgor commandos against Al-Shabaab terrorists who were regrouping in the area resulted in the death of 30 militants and forced them to flee. The ongoing conflict between the Somalia's National Army and Al-Shabaab has been a major concern for the government and the international community. Al-Shabaab has been responsible for numerous attacks on civilians and military targets, including the 2019 attack on a hotel in southern port city of Kismayo, which killed more than 26 people. The Somalia National Army's Danab and Gorgor commandos have been at the forefront of the fight against Al-Shabaab, with their operations resulting in a significant gains against the terrorist group.
President Musa Bihi Abdi received the UN Special Representatives of the Secretary General for Somalia, Ms. Katrina Laing, at the Presidential Palace. The meeting focused on strengthening the cooperation between the Republic of Somaliland and the United Nations to accelerate and bolster the projects of the organization in Somaliland.
President Musa Bihi Abdi received the UN Special Representative of the Secretary General for Somalia, Ms. Katrina Laing, at the Presidential Palace. The meeting focused on strengthening the cooperation between the Republic of Somaliland and the United Nations to accelerate and bolster the projects of the organization in Somaliland. The President was joined at the meeting by the several ministers, including the Ministers of Interior Planning and National Development, Finance, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, and the Special Info for the Somaliland-Somalia dialogue. The UN delegation was accompanied by the head of the Office of the United Nations in Hargeisa and other officials. Discussions between the Republic of Somaliland and Somalia were also featured in the meeting, with a focus on finding a peaceful solution to the conflict in Lasanod. The President and the UN Special Representative discussed ways to strengthen cooperation between the two countries and promote dialogue to resolve all standing issues. The meeting ended with full consensus and understanding that both sides work closely together to achieve common goals. The meeting between President Musa Bihi Abdi and UN Special Representative Katrina Laing underscores the importance of continued cooperation between Somaliland and the international community to address the challenges facing the region. Somaliland continues its journey toward stability and development. The support of the United Nations and other international partners will be critical in achieving these goals.
Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre has conducted an inspection of the National Immigration Agency and met with the agency's administration to assess the outcome of the Immigration Agency's administration change. The Prime Minister oversaw the work being done by the agency and discussed ways to improve its services for the Somali people.
Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre conducted an inspection of the National Immigration Agency and met with the agency's administration to assess the outcome of the Immigration Agency's administration change. The Premier oversaw the work being done by the agency and discussed ways to improve its services for the Somali people. The Director of the National Immigration Agency briefed the Prime Minister on the agency's long-term development plan detailing the significant progress that has been made despite challenges such as corruption and institutional mismanagement. The Premier commended the agency for its effort and emphasized the importance of transparency, efficiency, and dignity in the agency's operations. During the meeting, Mr. Barre stated that the newly appointed director should prioritize the development of the National Immigration Agency, ensuring that it operates with transparency, efficiency, and dignity, and not within Somalia but also on a global scale. The National Immigration Agency plays a significant role in the country's security and economic development, with its responsibility for regulating the movement of people and goods in and out of Somalia.
Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud met with Hirshabelle regional state leaders at Johor's airport on Wednesday to discuss the ongoing political crisis and the fight against Al-Shabaab. The president's visit comes amid heightening tensions in the region following the recent dismissal of Iran Regional Governor Ali Jaiter. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud met with Hirshabelle regional state leaders at Johor's airport on Wednesday to discuss the ongoing political crisis and the fight against Al-Shabaab. The president's visit comes amid heightened tensions in the region following the recent dismissal of Iran Region Governor Ali Jaiter Osman. The president's visit to Johor was intended to prepare for the second phase of the operation against Al-Shabaab, which is set to commence in the coming days, according to Daoud Haji Iro, the spokesperson for the Hirshabelle presidency. Reports suggest that the president also discussed the political crisis within the Hirshabelle administration, with regional leaders stemming from the dismissal of former Iran Region Governor Ali Jaiter Osman. The political conflict in the Hirshabelle administration arose when Ali Jaiter, the former governor of Iran region, refused to step down after being removed from office by the regional president last month. Governor Abdullahi Ahmed Maalin Sufuro was appointed as Jaiter's replacement but has not yet officially assumed office due to Jaiter's refusal to step down. During his conversation with Hirshabelle President Mohamud also addressed the recurring inter-clan conflict in the Middle Hirshabelle region. The president previously failed to resolve the conflict in Iran region in Mogadishu, as the former governor declined an invitation for the talks. The visit to Johor is part of the president's efforts to intensify the fight against Al-Shabaab, which has been a major threat to the security and stability of the country for many years. The president is expected to visit Galmudug in the coming days to further discuss the fight against Al-Shabaab. Dr. Abdinur Sheikh Mohammed, a former Somali presidential candidate, voiced his support for the ousted governor and strongly opposed Jaiter's removal, citing his exceptional leadership in the fight against Al-Shabaab on behalf of his people. Dr. Abdinur also criticized Hirshabelle's president's action as aggressive. The Somali government has not yet made an official statement regarding President Mohamud's visit to Johor, but it is expected that further discussions will take place to address the political crisis in the region and the ongoing fight against Al-Shabaab. Lovely viewers, that story brings us to the end of our bulletin. Glad to have you. Thank you for tuning in to your #1 station for news and updates. Wherever you're tuning in from, have yourselves a lovely night.